Hi, my name is Danica, and this is my video presentation. So the first concept that I chose was hegemony, which I describe as when power causes something to seem like the right way of doing it. So like when something that's been done for years, there's somebody with a lot of authority does something and society decides that that's how you do it because that's how higher power does it. So an example of this could be sexuality and how you come out as gay or any part of LGBTQ, and how it seems like being straight is the normal way of doing it, when in truth that's not actually how it works. That's just what society and what a lot of people have made it out to be. The second sociological concept I chose is socialization, which I described as when a certain behavior is learned within a society, which is somewhat based on conformity, which is when a society follows the way something is to be like everybody else. And I feel like this kind of helps me see how societies are formed, because a lot of societies and cultures are formed around socialization and how things have just developed and like evolved over time. An example that I felt like was good in class was how we talked about how a blue blanket, like if you were holding a baby and it had a blue blanket, society would be like, they would talk differently than if it was a pink blanket, because of how socialization has come to associate different colors with different genders and just stuff like that. So the next course objective, or the first course objective of the three I did, was social structures and how they influence my life. So in my life, I felt like I'm part of like the upper middle class rank, and so it made it so I was able to go to college. I grew up like in a very blessed like lifestyle, and I had a very different life than a lot of people do live, and that definitely influenced decisions I made and things I had opportunities to do, and that definitely had something to do with social structures and like how people treat upper middle class ranks versus like lower class and stuff like that. The second was sociologists study race, class, gender, and sexuality as social constructs. And I feel like they kind of observe this, how different identifications can change how you're treated. Like I talked about earlier, like LGBTQ, like people treat people who are part of that community differently, even though they're not technically different in a lot of different ways. Like we're different from them in the same way. And it shows that some way of being treated or like some way of being is considered normal or the way it should be, which again, kind of hegemony comes into play with that. But sociologists they observe these behaviors and how different identities contribute to how a society treats them and how people feel like it should be and how it should be in the future. The last course objective was just define sociology, and so I said that it's a social science where how a certain society as a whole runs based on certain decisions, and it definitely determines life changes and how people should and should not act, because it shows how people have different opportunities in a society based on social constructs and hegemony, social stratification, all of the terms that we've learned about, and just how all of those affect your role in a society. So lastly, my reflection on social science logic, or my reflection on social science knowledge and how it's important would be, I would say that it helps us avoid conformity because it allows us to understand different parts of sociology that make you just feel like you're fitting in, and it helps you learn how to stray away from that and make your own decisions and treat people how you think, like treat people equally and just have a better, more united community in the future.